Om Vasudeva Sutandevam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Asato ma Sadgamaya Tapaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer the salutations to Lord Krishna, the embodiment of supreme bliss, who came to establish religion and punish the wicked. Let us pray to him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. In fact, the message of Krishna given in the battlefield, which is known as Bhagavad Gita, if we follow his teachings, then really we can get rid of ignorance, we can light the lamp of knowledge, we can conquer death. That means we reach the ultimate goal. And it is possible if we follow the teachings of Lord Krishna. What is needed is sincere practice. That's all. It takes time. Let it take time. We should not hurry up. Doing sadhana is only our duty. The result of sadhana rests with the Lord of the universe. So in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, which we are discussing, the yoga of wisdom, we are almost reaching the end of the chapter. Lord Krishna has said in the previous verses how it is very important to cultivate Shraddha and humbleness and devotion to the Guru. It is very important to go in spiritual path. So verse number 40, Lord Krishna says, Ajñascha Saddhadanascha Samshayatma Vinashyati Nayam Lokosti Naparo Nazukam Samshayatmanaha. In very clear terms, Lord Krishna tells here why people are not able to reach the goal even though they are doing some kind of practice. Lord Krishna says it is because of ashraddha. That means they are not giving proper focus, attention, full concentration, full commitment to reach the goal. And they don't have real faith in the divine. In short, they don't have proper confidence. So, it is very important to cultivate Shraddha. How it is possible? It is possible only when you maintain association with the holy company. That means sincerely, honestly attending the spiritual activities. When you are engaging yourself in some kind of spiritual activity, you are certainly in holy company. The environment is very important for us to get awakened in the spiritual path. So if a person is ignorant, he will not get any happiness. Ignorant. It is like a man who has no education at all. What kind of life would be? Totally miserable. And a person who doubts. One is who is ignorant, who is devoid of Shraddha, and who always doubts. A person who is having these three most dangerous qualities in him, he is paving the way for his own ruination. He alone is responsible. For such a person who is ignorant, devoid of Shraddha and doubting, there is neither this world nor the next happiness. He can't even dream of happiness. He will not be able to understand the meaning of happiness. He will be in total mess, unbearable suffering he goes through. So, Sri Krishna is highlighting the reason is we should certainly get rid of ignorance. That's the idea. We should certainly develop definite Shraddha, faith, and firm belief, unshakable faith, strong determination, dogged will, and free of doubts. That means doubting with the idea of knowing the things is all right. Reasoning. Up to a limit, it's okay. If you cross the limit, instead of helping you, it is causing destruction. Everything has got a limit. You have to know the limits and proceed. That's the idea. So, the substance of this whole verse is that why the man suffers? Because of the ignorance. As long as there is ignorance, you are bound to suffer. Even though you make up yourself, show yourself as a happy person outwardly, but inwardly you are not peaceful or happy because of ignorance. Ignorance of what? Ignorance of the divine nature. Ignorance of the Divine Supreme. This ignorance, again it is pointed out, is his sense of ego, ahankar. ahankaram, balam, tarpam, kamakroda parayana. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Ahankara, most dreadful and destructive quality. When a person is free from this egoism, that is claiming importance, to give a very common example, people wanted to practice spiritual sadhana, good, and they do also, they try, very good, keep doing, very good, but next is they want recognition. They want their back to be patted. You have to pat them. They express that we should be grateful, we should show our gratitude by expressing thankfulness. That means your direction is misdirected there. Your focus should be not getting recognition. Not that you should not have recognition, that's not the meaning. Don't stress upon recognition. Don't project your ego. We did so many things, we did such things, still they didn't recognize us. Still we are not taken care of. Still they have ignored us. We are nobody. All these ideas are really destructive ideas. No, you are doing for the love of Sri Ramakrishna. Your love should be directed to the divine, not anything else. And Sri Ramakrishna knows how to reward. Without your asking, praise will come. Praise will come in many different ways. Not necessarily flattering. The reward comes in the way of grace. God's grace descends upon you. You feel more and more you volunteer yourself to selfless activities. You feel inwardly more and more humble. That's the indication. That is, you become more and more silent, become more and more action-oriented, not engaging in gossiping, talking useless things. So, when a person is free from this ahankara, how it is possible? By surrendering his life. When you surrender your life to God, it means you have surrendered your ego also. That's the point. Surrendering your life, your mind, intellect, at the lotus feet of the Divine Supreme. And he never claims anything to be his own. And such a person eventually experiences the value of blessed grace of the Lord. The grace comes in the form of peace. You get tremendous peace. Because you are not aspiring for anything. You are doing only for the love of God. So such a person alone is happy. Of himself, a person cannot accomplish anything. There's only one thing to be done. Pray to God and pray unceasingly. Not that you pray somehow, you pray somehow. not give much attention to pray. That's not the way. Utmost attention to be given to the praying. Not doing carelessly. Pray to God and pray unceasingly. Thus we may forget the ego altogether and continually remember that God alone is real and that God alone is the truth. When we are firmly established in this conviction, then only can we be freed from ignorance. Then only this thick cloud of ignorance smashes itself. It's cleared off. The divine power, the divine Lord, to understand in our mind, we personalize the divine supreme. So in order to please, in order to show the grace to the spiritual aspirants, the divine supreme takes the divine form in order to grant peace and blessedness to the earnest spiritual aspirant. So, the Lord of the creation, who projects the creation, allows it to go for some time, then takes it back himself. Again projects it, again takes back. So, manifestation and integration go alternately. Now it is manifested, now it is integrated. No end. It goes. It doesn't depend upon our personal likes and dislikes. Creation goes in its own way, whether you are in it or you are not in it. It's immaterial. Creation goes. So, the Lord of the universe operates with his mystical power. He has two powers. One is Vidya Shakti, power of knowledge, and the other is Avidya Shakti, ignorance. Both are Shakti, but two aspects. If he removes from us the influence of the Avidya Shakti and helps with the Vidya Shakti, then everything goes on well. Avidya Shakti is, the result of the Avidya Shakti is ignorance, ajnana. The result of Vidya Shakti is knowledge. So, we will realize the divine the moment the divine lifts the veil of ignorance. So, as individuals, we have to see how that veil of ignorance is removed, and that can be removed only by the divine. It is not in our hands. But how that could be achieved? It is through grace and grace alone. Grace. So that we need. So all our sadhana is meant only to get grace. Once you are with grace, you are freed from all troubles in the world. So, it means we shall have to realize our essential nature. All this confusion which we are undergoing moment to moment in the life is all because of ignorance of the divine. We utter the name of God, but we don't have faith in it. We don't believe it. Rather, we tend to become atheist, not believe. Atheism. This ignorance, therefore, is the demon of demons. This demon must be killed. So, ignorance plays in different ways. One way is we identify ourselves with the body, though we are not the body. Body is only external covering, but we identify with the body so much. All the time we are focusing on the beauty of the body. And we are very sensitive about our body complex. That is because of the ignorance. So the way out is to know the divine. Know the divine. This body is given as a vehicle to continue our spiritual path. It is like a chariot. You need a chariot to go through, to travel, and body is the chariot. So the root of ignorance and delusion is the sense of little me and mine. We should give up this attachment to this little self. Oh Lord, this world belongs to you. You are the master. I am only one of your servants. If you hold on to this attitude firmly, you will be liberated from all sufferings and you will be blessed with vision. Because the disease of ignorance is so severe and chronic, it requires the greatest of all physicians. The greatest of all physicians is Lord Himself. Bhavaroga Vaidya. He alone can remove worldliness in our mind. He alone can remove worldliness from our mind. How? By relying upon the divine name of the Lord. The name, the mantra which you have received from the Guru, it is so sacred, so sublime. By just repeating that name wholeheartedly, with Shraddha, this disease of worldliness is cured. Is cured. It is curable. It's curable only through surrendering ourselves to the divine. So, we should sing His glory with the entire heart and soul. We do pray. When you are praying, put your whole mind in praying. Keep other things for a time away. After prayer, let them come and jump upon you. Don't worry. And then, another point which we should understand, to get rid of this bothering ignorance, is desire. As soon as the man is born on this earth, he comes with desire. But then, again it is classified. It is of two kinds, good and evil. That desire which tightens the bonds of ignorance is termed as evil. That which loosens the bonds is termed as good. So, Vidyamaya and Avidyamaya, Sri Ramakrishna has dealt with this so nicely in the Gospel. They are both hypnotism. We have to destroy the one with the help of the other. For knowledge is the opposite of ignorance. So you have to destroy avidya maya through vidya maya. Perception of unity is knowledge. Perception of variety is ignorance. Unity. Ocean, if you take the example. How many rivers join the ocean? Can you imagine? Ocean, sum total of all rivers. There is no individuality. You can't differentiate there which of the river is in the ocean, etc. Swami Chidananda, one of the great disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, they are all great disciples. Everyone is great. Really, you should keep reading those lives. Tremendous inspiration we get. Adbhutananda said to one of the devotees, listen. By telling the word listen, he is drawing the attention of the devotee, so that his mind is focused on what he is talking about. Can anyone deviate from his real nature? If he does, it cannot be called his real nature, for it is changeable. Man's real nature is covered by a dense cloud of ignorance, and consequently he appears to be something different. But that does not mean he has deviated from his real nature. The knowledge of the Atman, the indwelling consciousness, removes ignorance. And this Atman is the real nature of person. So, we have to see that divine consciousness dwelling in our heart through any yoga you want to practice. The ultimate goal is to see that light of knowledge, that supreme divine light, soothing light. Once you have the glimpse of that light, all your ignorance is totally gone forever. So, ignorance is the root of all evil. Ignorance means absence of the knowledge of the Atman. Ignorance, ajnana, also called as maya, means false knowledge. That's why maya and ignorance mean the same thing. Somebody asked a question to Swami Ramakrishna Math. Sir, Could not God free us from ignorance at once if He wished? Sri Ramakrishna answered, surely. Surely He can do. But He is so infinitely loving that He does not wish to molest us. So long as He sees that we really cling to our ignorance and our desires, He does not come to free us. Only when we turn all our desires to Him, then He comes and selfishness and ignorance go away. But Ramakrishna said further, we must not bribe the mind. We must not pretend to be free from desire. The feeling must be absolutely sincere, no fraud or bribery. Another disciple, Swami Chidananda, he said, owing to ignorance, the person tries to justify his views with numerous intellectual arguments. And the result is philosophizing. But he gets over all this once he is blessed with true insight. Indeed, it is the ego born of ignorance that binds our vision. God's glory is manifest all around us, but still we do not see Him. The reason being that we are reluctant to cast off the veil of ignorance that covers our vision. So, how this ignorance, ajnana, is playing key role in our life. It is because of this master play of the ignorance we are suffering and suffering and suffering, not knowing how to get out of this well of suffering. So much about ignorance. We should know it. Then only we will be making our efforts to get rid of ignorance. Well, as I said earlier, our intention should be to practice. Leave the result to God. Pray for His grace. Pray. And God's grace comes only after removing all the impurities from the mind. And He takes care of getting all the impurities removed. He has got His own ways of cleansing our mind. Our duty is only to do sadhana. That's the duty, spiritual duty. Just do that. Next quality, Lord Krishna has said, ashraddhadhana. The other factor which is responsible for the destruction of the person. One is ajnana, another is ashraddha. One who has no faith at all. Disbeliever. You can say atheist. It doesn't believe anything. But people talk about God. Politicians also talk. Worldly people talk. Kids also talk. Babies also mutter. All types of people in the world, they talk about God, 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 God. But does he have faith in him? Again and again, man forgets God and becomes attached to the world. Asakti, attachment. An example is given. Sri Ramakrishna says this in the Gospel. It is like giving the elephant a bat. Afterwards, he covers his body with mud and dirt again. The mind is a mad elephant. But if you can make the elephant go into the stable immediately after bathing him, then he stays clean. Just so, if a person thinks of God in the hour of death, then his mind becomes pure and it gets no more opportunity to become attached to the worldliness, such as lust and gold. Man has no faith in God. That's the reason he suffers so much. They say that when you plunge into the holy waters of the Ganges, your sins perch on a tree on the bank. No sooner do you come out of the water after the bath than the sins jump back on your shoulders. A man must prepare the way beforehand so that he may think of God in the hour of death. The way lies through constant practice. If a man practices meditation on God, he will remember God even on the last day of his life. That's the idea behind Krishna's telling us, Sarveshu Kaleshu Mamanusmara. Always remember me and then do your duty. Doing your duty must be preceded by remembering God. So the first priority is remembering God. That's why we say, as soon as you wake up from the sleep, after the overnight sleep, just focus your mind on the divine. Then go engage yourself in activities. That is, you are beginning the day activity by thinking of God. That's the idea behind it. Anyway, Lord Krishna says how it is important for us to cultivate Shraddha, and devoid of Shraddha brings ruin. So let us stop here and we shall continue the same topic next Tuesday. You see, Shraddha counts from that point. You must be there for participating in introduction class also. That's a part of the subject. But people don't give much attention. Half and half, everything half and half. Even that half and half also they don't know properly. After attending morning session, afternoon they are absent. This kind of doing things, you can't even call them as practice. It is absurd to call. So retreats are meant to give training in discipline. But you make use of that opportunity to break the discipline. We understand in the home it is too difficult to practice any discipline at all. It is understandable. But coming to the spiritual environment, you are consciously, willingly you are coming to practice discipline. But still you are not very serious about it. Nobody comes for the morning prayers. Even if they come very late, and half the prayer is already over. Some people come at the time of giving jai. They may have reasons, million reasons. What is the reasons? Can the reasons make undo? No. Gone. That moment of prayer is gone. You can't maintain it. That period is over. So what I mean to say, take these retreats very seriously. Do it sincerely. Try to be disciplined at least during this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. At least these 3 days. Then you will know what exactly discipline means. Never miss even a single word that is taught in the retreat. That's the way you should pay attention. Concentration. That's the way to practice concentration. Anyway, we know it, but we can't practice it. That's the state. That's because of our terrible weakness. Body is weak, mind is weak, intellect is weak, everything is weak. Somehow we are managing to go through. Anyway, this is done for the benefit of the spiritual aspirants. Attend this program. Sacrifice your time. World will never go away from you. It will be always with you. Don't think by coming Friday to Saturday, Friday to Sunday, you lose all your other things. You will never lose. They are just waiting to jump upon you. The moment you go back from the retreat, your head is loaded with all those dumb. So don't worry about the worldly things. But be serious about acquiring spiritual nature. You are potentially divine, spiritual. Some reason we are not becoming aware of that, so we are suffering. Anyway, Om Sahana Vavadu Sahana Punaktu Saha Viryam Karavavagai Tejasvi Navaditamastu Vidvishavagai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. May the Lord protect us, may He nourish us, may our knowledge be fruitful and enlightened. May we not hate each other. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.